Add in major flavor, 3 classic blues licks that use the major third. A 1, 2, 3. Hello friends, and welcome back to Swiftlessons for another lead guitar tutorial. In today's session, I'm going to be showing you how to add a little bit of major flavor to the common position of the minor pentatonic scale in the key of A. Now the goal for this lesson is to diversify your solos. So I'm going to be showing you 3 classic blues licks that make use of the major third. And my advice for you this week is just to practice adding that ingredient into your solos. That's really how you develop as a soloist. Just add one ingredient at a time and practice it enough slowly and perfectly until it is embedded into your muscle memory. As always, I got a full tab for you at patreon.com/swiftlessons. You can become a member there and gain access to a ton of extra resources for all my popular YouTube guitar lessons. Now, let's get started. Okay, close look at the fretboard, getting started with lick number 1. Before we jump in, I want you to understand the context. We're in a standard blues situation, key of A, and we're visualizing our minor pentatonic scale. Okay, so that's the prerequisite for this lesson, very common scale. One that many guitar players get very used to using, they get very comfortable with, but it's very easy to kind of get stuck using that scale and to kind of feel limited. This is because the scale is only a 5-note scale. It lacks some of the sweet notes that are available in the chords and your 7-note scale like the natural minor and the major scale. So for this lesson, we're going to be adding in one of the notes from our major scale. That note right there, it's the major third. 1, 2, 3. The third note in that second octave of the scale. So it's the 6th fret of the G string. We're going to be adding this note to our minor pentatonic scale. Alright, to kind of add a little bit of that major flavor to our solos. Okay, so lick number 1, we're going to have a nice short one for the beginners. Okay, get that in your ear. Learn to count it. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. Drops you right off on the first beat of a measure. Okay, so we're gonna have 5th fret of the G string. This is the minor third. Then we're gonna go up to 6, that major third. Very, very common. In most cases, when you're using the major third, you're gonna be going from minor third to major third, and then somehow getting back to the root note of the chord. So 5, 6, 5 on the B, and then to the root note, the 7th fret of the D string, A, for some vibrato. Now let's see if you can hammer that on, going 5 up to 6. Okay, that's a great kind of introductory lick for this type of technique. Now if you want to, you can try to add in a little bit of rhythm. That's a really good way to practice. So a version of our A7 chord that's kind of jazzy is the 5th fret of the D string, the 5th fret of the B string, and the 6th fret of the G string, that major third. Remember, chords always show you what notes can be used in your solo. Now if you want to, you can also wrap your thumb around and block the A string for a really jazzy chord shape here. Okay, so then we have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. So you're hitting those jazzy chords on the 2 end and also the 4 end. Just practice that over and over again, get that into your muscle memory. Okay, very good everybody, you've got that first lick down. Alright, now we're going to be kind of upping the ante a little bit. We're going to be learning a lick that utilizes double stops. It's going to sound like this. First at full speed, then real slow. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, real slow now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. We're starting off on the 7th fret of the A string, coming in after beat number 1. And we're just going to walk up the minor pentatonic scale. It's very common to start from the 5th interval. Okay, E in the key of A. So we're starting from 7, going to 5 on the D, and then up to 7 on the D. Next, I'm going to do a little bar here. 5th fret of the G string and 5th fret of the B string as I hammer up a half step to the major third as that B string rings out. Okay, so far you have. Now I'm using hybrid picking. I'm not always going to do that. Sometimes I'll play just with my pick. Alright, next we're going to go to the root. That's the 7th fret of the D string. Before flattening our finger across another double stop, the 7th frets of the G and B string. You're going to let that hold for a second and then do a nice short staccato hammer on as we did before. Barring across the G string and B string 5th frets, and then with your middle finger nice and arched, doing a hammer on to the G string 6th fret. Okay, put all that together and we have. One more time. And real slow. Okay, and it's important to get that nice short staccato right at the end. Okay, just that way you can get that vibe. Alright, from there we can go back into our rhythm with that A7 chord shape, or with downstrokes. Alright, put the whole thing together now. Lick and then the rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, again, practice nice and slow. The kind of the path to virtuosity, according to Steve Vai, is slow and perfect practice. So, tons of repetitions, played very slow and meticulously. Okay, tremendous work today, everybody. You've got 2 classic licks down so far. Remember your first one? Lick number 2. And now you're ready for your 3rd and final lick. Okay, this one's very cool. It's got that very anxious, dissonant bend there going to the root note. And we're actually going to be borrowing another note from the major scale. This note right here, it is the 6th interval, 7th fret of the B string. Breaking down this lick one more time, a demonstration. Okay, and real slow. Okay, so we're on the 5th fret of the high E string, and we're coming in on an upbeat, so it's going to be on the end after the first beat. Alright, then we're going to go to the 8th fret of the B string and pull off to 5. Then 7th fret of the G string, and then that classic minor third to major third move that we talked about so much. So far you have. Okay, then we're going to go to the 5th fret of the B string, 7th fret, and then 5th fret of the G string, and we're actually going to be bending up to that major third from the minor third. Nice and slow. Okay, from there we're just going to resolve to the root, 7th fret of the D string, which is kind of optional. Okay, sometimes it's cool not to play the root note, just to play kind of chord tones and harmonies. Okay, you put that in time and it's going to sound like this. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Alright, one more time a little slower. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Alright, just like that, you've got 3 classic licks to practice. Remember, lots of repetition and practicing meticulously, making sure not to make mistakes. You don't want to get any adverse muscle memory into your technique. Okay, putting all 3 licks together now, it's going to sound like this, real slow for your practice. A 1, 2, 3. Friends, thanks so much for checking out this lead guitar tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. As always, big thanks to my supporters at patreon.com/swiftlessons. Hope you're enjoying all those extra resources. And thanks to you guys, I got many more lessons coming up. So keep checking in, please subscribe, please share. This is Rob at Swift Guitar Lessons in Philadelphia, saying happy picking.